World War I played an immense role in shaping the United States economy, labor, and regional migration patterns in the 1910s and 1920s. The decade of the 1910s reshaped the United States economy completely, as is exemplified by Woodrow Wilson's declaration during his presidential campaign in 1912. That states, "We have changed our economic conditions absolutely from top to bottom, and with our economic society, the organization of our life." Wilson's decision to enter the war had immediate economic consequences, as the United States government now had to raise the money required for the war effort. Though this task was daunting and challenging, and required vast government spending, the country's economy benefited from the effort. Many of the new businesses during the time period relied on scientific management, efficiency, and technology. The automobile industry became the single largest and most powerful division in the country due to its rapid boost in sales. Electrical companies and machinery manufacturers also grew greatly, along with farmers' profits, which widely multiplied. During this time, the transition from hand craftsmen to the assembly line was also established, and the government and business leaders changed their relationship in order to promote cooperation and minimal regulation. The demand for suppliers, weaponry, food, and other essential materials culminated with an increase in productivity. During World War I, the United States economy benefited from its increasing production, resource exports, and its mobilizing workforce into becoming one of the world's largest industrial powers, which gave way for economic expansion in the 1920s. The achievements and disappointments of the decade set the foundation for much of what followed in American business history during the 20th century. American contribution in World War I resulted in the loss of lives and a remarkable production of its economic funds. In accumulation to the $33 billion the United States government originally exhausted on the war, interest rates and benefits of veterans amplified this amount to $112 billion. Nevertheless, the monetary gains that were attained during the time of war greatly prevailed over the losses. Between 1914 and the ending of the decade, typical yearly incomes ascended from $580 to $1,300. Additionally, the increase in intercontinental trade continued to elevate income for a variety of industries. Driven by the fiscal boost of war, America steered into the flourishing 1920s. Labor during this time period was supported by the American Federation of Labor under Samuel Gompers, who supported President Wilson and the war effort. A labor board was formed to rule out strikes and even mediate labor disputes, and the number of workers involved in the labor force increased from 2.7 million in 1916 to more than 5 million by 1920. The labor unions excluded the majority of foreign-born workers and paid very little attention to women's concerns. The organized labor during the 1910s effectively set the stage for the labor success of the 1930s. Regional migration was very common during World War I, since workers were often forced to pack up and relocate themselves to areas where jobs were plentiful. Industrialization had developed unevenly, which led to this phenomenon. By 1915, World War I had stopped the flow of immigrant labor. Because of this, new opportunities for industrial employment opened for Americans living in rural poverty, for blacks and other minorities in the South. The war increased the longing of recruiting minorities that lived in farms and urban areas to factories and industries. The Great Migration of Black Americans out of the South and into the North is one of the best-known results of wartime migration. Much of the migration was toward northern cities such as Chicago, Detroit, and Cleveland. After World War I, regional migration kept on growing.
When you came here empty-handed, and allegiance forever you swore, I gathered you